What would you do if you had to get up in front of 2,000 people and talk about cats purring?
Well, I don't know, they lower our blood pressure. You stroke a dog's dogs go ooh, and cats go because they're drilling, aren't they? That's what they're doing. They're drilling. They drill for gold. They drill for oil. They drill for anything, just for the love of drilling. When you're they're behind your sofa. They're just drilling. They've got goggles on. It's okay. There's a compressor over there. Your friends come and say, "I think your cat's drilling behind your sofa." No, I don't think so. That's purring, that noise, isn't it? Cat, are you drilling? And the cat hears this and whips off the dog and says, no. Drilling? No, cat.
How do you work out a routine like that? I mean, did that, for example, come from somebody saying it to you? Hey, they sound like drills, don't they? Or were you in the bath sort of...
No, it came with, I don't know, because they start from small ideas. I don't write any of it down. I have a small idea and it just goes on and I just sort of waffle away to the audience and it sort of builds into something. And I made the noise of purring just going through it, and I realised it sounded a bit like drilling, so I decided it was drilling. And it's going into these unlikely things which could work, and then you say, right, that is the truth, and you go with that. And then as long as it sort of links, people will go with it, and you can just go into flights of fancy.
So are you saying that was all ad-libbed?
That was initially ad-libbed. It was all. It would be like I'd go on with the idea about talking about I don't know what I was.
So start off on stroking dogs or something.
Yeah, I can never remember where I start off with them. And I'll start off with a piece. It'll go on. So the first time I do it, it'll be about 2 minutes, and then the next I do it, it'll be 2 minutes. Perhaps I'd lib another 2 minutes on, and so it grows. Then I'll cut it back a bit. Then it grows out to one side, and it keeps just changing shape. And I can never quite remember where I started it.
So I mean, in your show, which at the moment you're at the Shaftesbury Theatre in London, aren't you, with Definite Article? It's sort of slightly different every night, then.
Yeah, well, I ad-lib as much as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, on the opening night, there's this interesting thing. Well, a button fell off my Gautier jacket, which is quite expensive. But it just fell off. You know, and buttons fall off. But it happened to fall off on the press night. And seeing as it's comedy, you can deal with that. You say, oh, your button's not supposed to fall off your jacket. But someone threw needle and thread on the sage as well. And I thought, well, let's go for this. So I decided I'd try and thread it back on, you know, sew it back on. I didn't know whether I could keep them going for about... I knew it was going to take a few minutes to get the knot in, you know, and so I just went through all sewing techniques and talking about my gran used to tie knots and to see if I could get it back on. So you just go with it.
That's risky. Comedy, though, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's because of the stuff. Some of the stuff I'm talking about is complete rubbish, you know. So people think, well, that's not terribly dangerous. But the fact that I will go out and just wing it on rubbish and sew buttons back on and just walk off stage or whatever.
Well, the danger is it's like turning off off onto a desert track, and you know, fine, it might lead to the punchline, quote the Oasis, but it could easily just take you into deep sand.
Yeah.
So how did that resolve the button routine?
I sewed it back on. I got it on, and I knew.
And you kept the audience.
Yeah, I knew as long as I got it on, they'd go wild, you know, because it was not supposed to happen.
Yeah. Sews on button.
I mean, it seems so small and so ridiculous, but it's not supposed to fall off on your opening night.
Are you still keeping to this? I will not appear on the box apart from times like this. I will not do a comedy series on TV.
Well, I'm not going to do the comedy series. I mean, I'm very up for doing chat shows. I love doing chat shows because I mean, talking is my medium.
Right.
But I didn't want to become Mr. Comedy too much because I do think you get this comedy baggage, and I want to do my straight acting as well. And I just think if you're too well known as a comedy person, there would be a reluctance to see you in a straight role.
Yeah.
Now, where was it you went to, and you performed in front of 270 people? Was it not Orkney? It was the
Outer Hebrides.
The Outer Hebrides.
Outer Hebrides.
What did you go up there for? I mean, nothing against Outer Hebrides.
Well, no. Well, it's off the normal gigging route, and no one had ever been to the Outer Hebrides. No stand-up had ever played in the Outer Hebrides.
Right.
And I played Fort William just before Billy Connolly did his world tour of Scotland, and then I heard that he was doing the Scottish thing, which was sort of logical for Billy being Scottish.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I loved it. I mean, it was Ben Nevis up in Fort William, the mountains. And,
it's beautiful, isn't it?
And so I thought, let's just go further. The idea being that if I don't have my own comedy show, I'll make the effort to go up there, and hopefully they might think, well, let's turn up and see what it's like.
Denounced, weren't you, by the preacher?
Yes, the Free Presbyterian minister, Reverend MacLeod, who said I was abhorrent, and he said, don't go on Radio Scotland. And I heard people saying, well, I mean, we'd sold 30 tickets at that point, and then the next day it was 270 tickets.
Because he denounced you.
Thanks, Rev.
Yeah.
Now, why would he denounce you? Is it because of the cross-dressing?
Well, I wasn't quite sure. I think it was both. Both being TV and doing stand-up comedy and talking about the body or something. I don't know, bodily functions, referring to the body. I don't know.
How did he know? I mean, if he'd never seen you.
It was a Mary Whitehouse School of reviewing, I believe, where someone else is...
Yeah. Somebody else just said, oh, you don't want that Eddie Izzard here.
Yes. But as Julie says, how would he know about the details of your act?
Yeah, well, no, he didn't. I mean, it was that... he got the inference that, you know, he just assumed. Well, basically, I mean, they are very strict Presbyterian. It's like on Sunday, you can't light bonfires, you can't eat a jam cake, you can't
Yeah, but listen,
drive cars.
And
no.
the ones that went, did they like you? I mean, did you...
Oh, big time. I
Great.
mean, there was an article in the Sunday Times, and I was on the stage, so I couldn't see how people were reacting, but there's this great picture of 3 kids killing themselves laughing, so that was...
But I used to know some people in Sutherland, right up the top, near Cape Wrath, and I stay there for a while, and you're right, on Sundays everything shuts, everything stops, and actually it's very good. I mean, I'm not advocating it down here, but it's a very restful day.
No,
you can't do anything, and it's very good for you.
I could believe that. I just see, you know, people nowadays wanting choice.
Yeah.
Want to be able to choose if they want to have a restful day or go out and do something crazy.
Anyway, Chuck, we've run out of
You've
time.
played Edward II recently, haven't you? So you've done a lot.
Leicester Haymarket. I just did a film called Secret Agent with Gerard Depardieu and Bob Hoskins and
And you moving out of Shaftesbury? Are you going on tour?
No, Shaftesbury. 10 weeks in Shaftesbury.
10
And
weeks.
then I went to tour till next year, so up to December the 16th. And the review's just gone...
Yeah, we know
Yeah,
that,
we
isn't
know.
it? That's why
We
you're
know.
here.
It's great, Eddie. We've got to go to the news now, but it's really nice to see you again.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck with
Cheers.
it. Nice to
Good
see you.